Life. We are live with the wife.
Wife. I am wife.
No, trash. Right, it was.
The dysfunction.
There we go. Alright, we are in the tier list thing. Okay, let me get my. Okay.
You want me to check audio?
Actually, I could check audio right now. It is picking it up, and I don't know if it's picking you guys up. Talk a little bit. It's picking you guys up, just to be sure. Probably should have checked this. Nope, auxiliary is still M18. Okay, all right. Welcome to our, what is this, like, second tier list video?
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like doing anything else. I was gonna do a different game. I wanted to do a tier list. That's been a while, but I couldn't really find like what to do. So yeah, probably gonna be short. It's not that many movies, quite a bit, but like we will talk about the ones we've seen. So I guess we should just start right away. 13 hours. That's the
most recent one we watched, technically.
13 hours. That's the Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. I actually really like this movie.
B to A, basically.
This movie was really good. It's a Michael Bay movie, and it's one of his least grossing ones, believe it. I don't know. It's a war movie, but I consider it less of like an actual war movie and more of like operators doing operator things. But it's still really good, so I'm gonna give it an A. 1917. Trench apparently hasn't seen 1917, and I don't know why.
From the trailers, I think it was just because it didn't feel like it was a grandiose war.
Well, it wasn't like, it's not action centered. It's like the whole continuous take thing is like its main thing.
I know.
It does show a lot of what World War I is, and that's what I like.
Okay, well, when they showed it in the trailer, it didn't look like that. That's all I'm saying.
But overall, I think 1917 as a war movie itself was really good. The way it depicted everything was.
I'd agree with it. Oh, 300.
300.
I mean, one of the best movies ever made. Probably.
300 is just really good. But as a war movie, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a war movie to me too much. Because like those like sparse conflicts are just really like I'm not gonna not classify it as a war movie, but I'll do B. I'll do B for it. Good action and everything else, but as a war movie itself, maybe not so.
What is that one? I can't read
that. A Bridge Too Far.
Oh, that was a good movie.
This is a classic. It's long as heck, but...
Yeah, but it's Sean Connery.
But it's Sean Connery, and it's got a bunch of awesome actors, and it's just a good movie overall. The Alamo, I've never even heard of this movie, so I'm gonna just put this
Sounds interesting. The original.
The original Acquiring on the Western Front. I actually haven't seen.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it.
It's... I think if you like the nitpick parts of the new one and say, oh, this was kind of missing.
They did it better on the other.
No, like, you know how they really didn't go over their training?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is more... Maybe the first quarter of the movie is kind of devoted to their training. It is a long movie, so...
Oh, okay. They took the Full Metal Jacket approach?
Yeah, but Full Metal Jacket was 80% training.
Yeah, that's kind of what I didn't like about it. I'll talk about it when we eventually get. All right.
If it's...
I think that's American Sniper.
That's American Sniper. I have to say A because I've read the book, and then the day I found out he passed away.
Aw.
Just trying to help a veteran, I just cried.
Yeah,
and then when they showed do you remember the funeral scene?
Yes.
That broke me in the theater.
Yeah, I think American Sniper was all pretty solid movie. I don't know too much about Chris Kyle. I've only heard like some of the stories. I think Donut talked about him also. But overall, yeah, it was a good movie. Like, I think it captured the PTSD also pretty well. But like his role in the it wasn't Fallujah, it was like Ramadi, I think.
I forgot his nickname.
His nickname was the Devil of Ramadi.
Okay, Ramadi. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Right, Apocalypse Now. Okay, I'm gonna have a controversial take on Apocalypse Now.
I don't think it's a war movie.
Honestly, it doesn't feel like a war movie. Everybody remembers the one scene, but that's about it. You can't tell me anything else about that movie right now.
It's a psych horror.
Yeah, it's more of that. I think it's based on a book, isn't it?
I think it is. Yes.
And like, yeah, I just don't remember anything of it. And I've heard of like 3 different like things on it. And to be fair, I don't think I've ever fully seen it. I've only seen like bits of it, but I can't even piece it together. So I'm gonna just put it on haven't seen because I can't really rate it. Because I don't think it's bad because it's so iconic.
If I had to rate it, I'd probably say it's still a B.
Mm-hmm.
I think just trying to be like, oh, it's a war movie kind of lets some movies down a bit.
Yeah. I think
Like
the one scene with the helicopters was amazing, but that's about it. That's the only like war thing I remember.
Like
about
Hamburger Hill, was it Hamburger Hill? No, We Were Soldiers.
Oh,
that was definitely.
I think that's on here. All right. Next is
I don't know what that is.
Attunement?
Atonement?
Attunement or Atonement? I've never heard of that movie.
I see an O.
This
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. I can't see this one. Battle. No, dude. Battle of the Sun. Oh, Battle of the Bulge. That's the really bad one, isn't it?
It's good. I at least enjoyed it.
Isn't it? It's the one with like the very bad historical inaccuracies and the bad tanks, isn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of goofy though.
That's the only thing I've heard of it. I'm gonna leave it at F just because I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it so much that I've practically.
That's not Top Gun.
Is next? Oh, Behind Enemy Lines?
I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen that? That's actually one of the oldest war movies I've seen. Like in terms of like when I was younger. I was so confused when I watched it because I was young, but now I understand it. I think it's pretty decent. Not great.
Was it a father-son movie?
Oh, what? What?
There's a weird. It's not that one.
No, it's the guy that gets shot down in Yugoslavia.
Oh.
Yeah, he gets shot down. He has to evade enemy patrols and stuff. It's pretty good. It's pretty. I think it's pretty good.
I'd say it was good, but it's a concept I've heard of before.
Yeah, I'll leave it at B because it's not like that memorable, I guess. But I think it's still pretty good. Okay. I think that's The Thin Red Line.
Oh, dude, it's probably a C.
I can't remember Thin Red Line. I feel like I've watched it, but
it's various action sequences. It's a complicated story, but
I know it's the Pacific. That's all I really remember.
Hans Zimmer's Polynesian chant is what I remember from it.
I'm gonna put it on haven't seen because I don't remember much. Okay, Black Hawk Down. Obviously gonna be S tier because it's probably the greatest modern warfare movie I've seen. The whole like depiction of the events was really good. It wasn't accurate in terms of like how everything looked because apparently Somalia, where it happened, was just like some like even worse than a backwater village, right? We're talking like straw huts, not actual buildings, but it was still pretty cool. It was a good movie.
It's better or worse than depicted?
Well, in terms of accuracy, it wasn't depicted accurately, but I didn't really care too much about that. So
I'm assuming there's parts of Somalia that are like villages and stuff.
Oh no, it was. I've seen the pictures. It was like we're talking straw huts and dirt roads.
Okay, so worse. Yeah. Got it.
Even though like the bazaar, the arms bazaar, I think it's what's it called? Qatar Market. It's a map in Modern Warfare 3. Bakara. The Bakara Market is slightly more like urban stuff. Like that's an actual city. I think that's in Mogadishu, but I don't remember too much.
Okay.
Next is I think that's A Few Good Men.
That's the one where he says it's like
you can't handle the truth. Yeah.
I feel like I want to say I have seen it. But I don't think I did. Like I can't remember.
I actually haven't. I honestly don't really know what it's about. And they're never interested.
Court martial.
Yeah, that was like to me. It's like okay, all right, I guess.
I think I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
Braveheart.
Very good movie.
Do you consider it a war movie though?
Yeah.
Do you?
Even though I know there's a lot of inaccuracies, but yeah, I think telling the story of it's technically a war movie. I mean, how many freaking wars did within England had? So
can I be honest with you?
I
haven't seen it. I don't think I have. I know everybody knows about Braveheart, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched. Okay, next one I cannot see. The bridge. Oh, the bridge on the River Kwai.
I did see that movie. It was pretty good.
I've heard of it. Never seen it.
It's like a PO. It's like, you know, The Great Escape.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's that, but if they don't escape.
It's like that, but if it's the Great Escape.
It's the forced flavor of...
It's the Great Escape without the Great Escape part.
It's again, it's a British officer just trying to get his men the best treatment they can under Japanese internment. And he does a pretty good job. I think there was a commando raid too, and that's what kind of where everything went sideways. It's a good movie.
I've never seen a movie that's like that. I think it's just called The Great Raid. That's a raid with American and Filipino commandos on a Japanese POW camp.
It wasn't that.
I know it's not that one because they're different titles, Trench. I'm just saying there's one that sounds like that.
Okay.
Captain America, I'm just not going to consider a war movie because...
That's not a war movie, only because it's associated with Marvel.
Yeah. If it was just like that without Marvel, yes. Che, I've never seen... Ooh.
Still a good movie.
Come and see. I've been wanting to watch this one for a while.
I've heard about it, but I don't think I just had the gall or the nerve.
This is a horror movie, Trench. It is literally a horror movie.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. I'll watch it soon though. But
I'm gonna need you if we're watching it. It's gonna be me and you because I can't watch that alone.
Aw, Trench.
I don't think I watch that alone.
Okay, next is what the heck does that even? I don't know.
I can't read that.
Doesn't even look like a war movie. Either. Next one is...
I'm guessing it was about the Harlem Hellfighters.
The 5 Palpatines? I don't know. Why are these so small? Das Boot.
Oh, excellent movie. Very long.
Mitch, can I be honest with you about Das Boot?
You hate it?
Well, I think it's a good movie. It is so long I fell asleep halfway.
I'd say it's a B.
There's some like scenes where it's like, okay, like it's just like nothing's happening. Like, I just didn't enjoy it, honestly. I think it's a good movie, but I didn't enjoy it. Give it a C.
I'd rather watch that than The Godfather because I can't do The Godfather.
Yeah, Trench hates The Godfather for some reason.
Because it's based on nothing.
Based on a movie by a dude.
You mean a book?
A book? What? It's a movie based on a movie.
That looks like a Chuck Norris movie. The Deer Hunter?
I think the Deer Hunter's about Vietnam, but it's that scene where in Black Ops 1 where you're captured and you're forced to play Russian roulette. That's basically a reference to a scene in this movie. Other than that, I've never seen this movie.
I'd definitely watch it. Is that Chuck? It's Chuck Norris, right?
I don't know who that is. No, it's
I didn't know.
I don't know.
Looked like Chuck Norris.
All right, Downfall. Okay.
That was good.
I gotta talk about it. People that are stupid and know nothing about like what the Nazis did, right, and stuff, and like their ideology need to watch this movie because it perfectly encapsulates the last days of the Third Reich and like Hitler in like I think the most human way possible. Because people are like, oh, he's a monster. It's like, no, dude, he's just a guy. He's a man that did messed up things. Okay, because anybody's capable of that.
And you do see a lot of like his compatriots and his other commanders, just like some of them are just actually like tired of his delusions. Like, wasn't there a scene on like the guy who was rushing to the hospital telling them to evacuate? I can't remember the scenes.
There's a scene in the hospital. There's a few scenes in like there's a field hospital and then the actual hospital.
You very much see the different, like, it's not black and white. It's like you see a lot of these guys actually almost being heroes.
Yeah, exactly. Like if this was like happening in America, right? If it was DC and it was like President like Truman or something in the bunker doing this, a lot of those guys would definitely be seen as. But like, yeah, like you said, it's not black and white, right? It's got very much gray areas. Yes, there are evil people in this, and yes, there are decent men that were fighting for their country. But overall, like,
see the escape of some of the other ones.
And like going by actual accounts and everything, this movie's like pretty much 1-to-1. and it rarely strays away from like certain things.
Did they talk about the fate of Hans Bormann in that one?
Yeah, I think he got shot.
Right, and now it's kind of almost like as time's gone on, it's like again listening to Mark Felton talk about that Bormann might have survived.
Nah, he's dead. I'm sure he's. A lot of these freaking. Hitler isn't in Argentina. I know. I talked to him. He's not in Argentina. That came out wrong. That's not the point. Point is, Downfall is probably one of the greatest. Like, it was almost feels like it's a. Not a biography. What's it called? Like it's almost like something you'd see on the History Channel, because it's very like
right.
It's very sequential, and it's like certain different characters and all that, different points of views, but it's strictly from the German side.
It's like a dramatized documentary.
Yeah, but Downfall is like it's on my list of war movies you have to watch to actually understand the war. So perfect in that. And Bruno Ganz as Hitler is probably the greatest performance I've seen of any other Hitler. Dude. Yeah, he really does. That's why he nailed the role perfectly. And the best part about a lot of those scenes is like the one scene where he goes and gives the medal to the Hitler Youth. You compare that to the one-to-one actual film, it's exactly the same, pretty.
And yeah, and it's like he held his hand behind his back because he had undiagnosed nerve damage or something.
It was like Parkinson's. Yeah, he had the thing where like ticks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a good movie though. Doctor
They did that in Did they do it in All Quiet on the Western Front?
They did it on the first one, yes.
Yeah, the original.
That was a good little historical detail. Okay. Enough about Downfall. Next is Doctor Strangelove, which I haven't seen.
I need to watch that.
But
I don't consider that a war movie.
It's just a meme of a movie. I haven't watched it, but yeah, I don't really consider it a war movie.
I want to watch it.
Okay, Dunkirk.
Ooh.
Dunkirk. Okay. I gotta. I'm sorry, Nolan. I gotta do it to you, my man. I gotta do it to you, okay? Kaiser might praise Christopher Nolan for being so good, right? An amazing film director, which he is. But not using CGI for certain scenes, I think really hurt it. And trying to stick to the practical effect was very like... It was very detrimental to the overall like depiction of the actual Dunkirk events.
Plus, the whole timeline thing was...
Yeah, it was a mess.
I had to watch it a second time to understand.
I was like, wait, so how did that ship get torpedoed, but the guys are still on the beach, and then the RAF shows up, and then like, huh? What? It was so confusing the way that the chain of events went on, which is just like bad.
He had to redeem himself with Oppenheimer, basically.
Oh, for sure. Also about Dunkirk is like Trench said, you don't see who's shooting at you, which I think was not a good choice in having like the enemy be like not there until the very end where you see 2 Germans and that's it, or like capture that one pilot. Like, no, that's not how it was, you know? And the town not being pretty much rubble, it was not the case, you know. In reality, Dunkirk was pretty hammered by German artillery. It was pretty bad.
Plus, well, I know this is beyond the scope, but plus, like, post-war, they didn't give a shit about the city.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't consider it as strategic. They literally just besieged it for Normandy, or, like, post-Normandy landings.
Yeah. And then, I think his name was, he does reviews on movies and stuff like that. History Buffs did point out that in the scene with when they're on the beach, it just looked like a couple of, like, guys queuing up at a beach. When in reality, that place was littered with British soldiers, right? It was like the Boston Tea Party times 2, pretty much. That's probably not a good way to phrase it. Point is, in reality, there was a crap ton of soldiers there pretty much covering the entire beach, and this one, it just looks like some dudes at the beach. And, like, people made out to be, like, very grandiose and something's like, oh, like, the scenes with the Stukas and everything. It's like, dude, there's one scene with the Stukas, and it misses, and that's about it. It's meh. I didn't enjoy Dunkirk because of those things, and I don't even consider it a war movie. But it is, and I'm going to just give it a... I'm just giving it a C.
No.
It wasn't boring. and it wasn't bad. It was just really hard to keep up with because
I
of
think I'd rather watch Das Boot than Dunkirk.
I'd rather probably watch Dunkirk over. Okay, next up is
I can't read that.
That's Live, Die, Repeat. That's not really a war movie. Also, I haven't watched
movie.
it. Yeah, it's more of like a Tom Cruise action movie. Any war movie with Tom Cruise in it isn't a war movie. It's a Tom Cruise action movie. That's as simple as that. All right, Empire of the Sun. Which one's that one?
I haven't seen it. I think it's about occupation.
I feel like it's about like it takes place in Australia.
Is it?
It takes place in the Pacific, but I know it has nothing to do with American. I've only heard about it. I don't think I've seen it. But it's on my list.
Watch it with you. Yeah, it's definitely on my list.
All right, Enemy at the Gates.
Oh my god!
Probably one of the first war movies I saw when I started getting into like history and stuff.
That was a fantastic movie.
I think it was pretty good of how it showed the.
I've listened to
the tunnel. Essentially, what were rats in a city fighting each other.
No, that's literally how it was.
Yeah, there was some. I think some things that were historically inaccurate, but like they're pretty minuscule. But overall, as a movie that's just about Russian snipers and Germans in Stalingrad, I think it was pretty good overall. Historically, not so much, but you can do your own research and figure that out. Right, Flags of Our Fathers. You guys watched this, didn't you? Oh no. We watched you, me, Kaiser, and May. I think
we watched the other movie.
We watched Letters from Iwo Jima. We haven't watched Flags of Our.
I might have seen it once. I can't remember much. I do remember the scene where they ambushed the guys that were raising the flag. Not ambush, but like they tried to counterattack when they're trying to raise the flag.
Something like that. Okay. I have some conflicting things about Flags of Our Fathers because
I can't remember any of it.
Because who directed it? Oh, Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's movies are great. Clint Eastwood's awesome. But Flags of Our Fathers, like, there's some scenes where I'm just like the way when you do the whole thing out of order, which they did sometimes in Flags of Our Fathers, throws me off a little bit.
Right.
And I don't like one of the actors, the guy that plays the he usually plays like Indians in movies. He's in Wind Talkers. I don't know his name, but everybody knows what he looks like. I don't like him because he always has a dumb face. And I don't like his dumb face. And it's just like
I've seen Wind Talkers.
Whatever movie he's in, I just don't not being racist or anything, I just don't like his face. But I don't know, like it threw me off a little bit. The actual landing scenes on Iwo Jima were fantastic. So I'm gonna give it a B. Other than that, I probably would have given it an A, even an S. But that just kind of. Next up is Five Nights at Hitler's. I can't read that.
What in the hell?
I have no idea what this movie is, but
I'm tired of these tier lists being super tiny.
Not even that. It's the posters. Like you can identify a lot of the iconic movies, but that's like, what even is that? All right, Full Metal Jacket, Trench. Full Metal Jacket.
A.
Sorry, Trench. I don't think so.
B.
For me, Full Metal Jacket, it's a Stanley Kubrick movie, but it's really good. But the whole I think the training was way too much. Took up way too much of the movie. That by the time it was over, I was just like, eh. I don't know if that's what it's about, right? Because I think it's based on a book that I've never read. But like. I think the training was way too long and the Vietnam was just way too little. To the point where like I started kind of like losing like interest, right?
I think it goes C to B just because it's kind of that well-known movie.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. It's just well known. I think it's a bit of like nostalgia goggles too, you know, because everybody like when it came out, everybody loved it. I guess now it's kind of a cult classic, but like the picture of the training was good, right? But
unrealistic, but yeah.
Yeah, a bit unrealistic, but it was good. But I think it went on for too long. I even asked
my uncle that, who was a Vietnam vet, and it's like, no, as long as you didn't screw around, it wouldn't.
Yeah. I think the reason everybody likes it was because Arlie Ermey's performance was the greatest. And it's true. Him as Gunnery Sergeant or Drill Sergeant Hartman was.
I mean, he was literally a fucking Marine, so.
Yeah, like that's what everybody likes, and that's what everybody remembers. But if you ask them, so what about the Vietnam scenes? They're not gonna remember, dude. The only thing I remember was when they're interviewing them, and the scene with the female Vietnamese sniper, which isn't even really a sniper. But other than that, it's so slow. I'm sorry, I have to give it a C. And everybody's gonna hate me for this, for Fury, but I really enjoyed Fury, like a lot. For me, Fury is definitely an S.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, same.
If I bought something on Blu-ray, it's like, yeah.
Because Fury fills in that niche role that me and Trench really like, because we both like tanks. Tanks are awesome. Tanks are the greatest thing ever. But there's so few actual movies centered around tanks and tank crews that it's like, this movie fills in that niche very well. Yes.
It's probably the only one.
There are glaring inaccuracies, okay. Yes, the whole thing with the Shermans and the Tiger, yes, I get it, okay. But other than that, you can't help but admit that the whole thing of like the them going into Germany, right? And the depictions of like the Hitler Youth and like the SS and all this other stuff, and like the what's it called? The realism of it. Right? Like the way that some of those guys got tore up when they got hit by the MG42s, the M2s, was so good that I never see this in any other movies. Yes, this is straining from the actual like war part of it, but like it's still really good depictions of it. Like
I don't think it takes away from the war part of it at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Literally their experience.
Yeah. But like the whole thing about it being a tank crew, right? And the way they actually built an actual secondary Fury with cutout panels so they could record inside the tank was just amazing. Like, if you haven't seen the behind the scenes, it is so awesome.
I think I did a little bit, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I sent it to you. You probably forgot about it.
I mean, it was probably 5 years ago.
Yeah, but overall, it's a really good, like,
plus, I mean,
thanks.
Again, and it does very much go old school. They literally just took the actors and threw them into a fucking boot camp.
Yeah, because it's it's not a Spielberg movie, but it's like it's by that. It has the same it had the same advisor. What's his name? I
don't know.
He's in pretty much every World War II thing you've ever seen. He was in Band of Brothers as Colonel Sink.
Plus, I mean, you really did bring back Shia LaBeouf as an actor.
Let me actually look up that. He was an actual Marine too. Band of Brothers. Robert Sink. He was portrayed by Captain Dale Dye. Yeah, everybody. Dale Dye is a advisor essentially to these more kinds of movies, and he does a great job. I think he did the boot camp for Fury also, but he wasn't in the movie directly. He's been in Band of Brothers. I think he was also in Saving Private Ryan as one of the colonels. But he's been in so many war movies as an advisor and as an actor that he's very iconic.
I mean, and plus, like, saving Shia LaBeouf's career was pretty good.
Yeah, we'll go with that. After a Transformers, Shia kind of sunk. Gallipoli, I have not seen.
I would watch the crap out of that.
Next is
the Sabaton song alone. I'd watch it for.
I've never seen that poster, and I can't really read that. Yeah, I'll just put that over here.
Can't read shit.
Glory. I saw Glory in high school because we were learning about the Civil War and stuff.
I'm gonna watch that.
You haven't seen Glory?
No, but I'd watch it probably.
It's a movie about the 54th Massachusetts, the first all-black regiment in the Civil War.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty good depiction of it. Their training, the way they were treated, the battle where they inevitably died. A lot of them. Oh, yeah. I think all of them. I don't know. As a Civil War movie, it's pretty good. I don't really know too much about it to say like about inaccuracies, but I know for the most part it was pretty spot on. I'll give it an A. It's a bit old, it's a little dated, but overall I think it still holds up.
I gotta find that movie. I think it was called The Battle of the Pit, where just a bunch of Union soldiers who were in a pit in a defensive position were just slaughtered.
Next up is Code. Oh, Gods of Gehenna.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it, but it does not sound like a war movie.
I haven't seen Gone with the Wind. I'm sorry.
What even is Gone with the Wind about?
I don't know.
I don't know what it's about. I keep hearing so many different things about it. Some are like, oh, this is like one of the greatest movies ever. But it's like, what is it about, dude? I haven't seen it. Do I care about it? Not really. No. I'm sorry. What's next?
That's Good Morning Vietnam.
Is it with John Belushi, Trench?
No, William.
Oh, really?
No, Ryan Williams.
In that case, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen?
I have not seen it.
It's technically a war movie.
The Green Berets. This is an old movie, dude. And guess what? I have seen it when I was very young. It's got
what's his face? He's in every war movie.
It's that's John Wayne, dude.
He's like in every war movie.
Yeah, in like the older war movies.
He's in Longest Day.
Oh, Longest Day, yeah. But the thing is, I don't remember too much about it. I remember one scene where this dude gets like caught in like a snare trap, and it lifts him up, and then it sticks him into a punji trap. That's like the ones that like spring loaded.
Oh, this is a Vietnam movie?
It's a Vietnam movie, I believe. I believe it's a Vietnam movie. I don't remember too much about it. It's
kind of like the birth of the Green Berets.
Yeah, but I don't remember too much about it. So I'm going to give it a B for now. But I don't remember too much about it.
I'd watch it.
Next up is Hacksaw Ridge.
That was legend.
Hacksaw Ridge for me was an experience.
That's A to S, yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, that one actually got me to tear up. Like the whole like thing about Desmond Doss was I think for the most part it's pretty on the historical point, right? Only like very minor, I think, on some areas, but it was pretty well done. And
yeah, that was crazy.
One of the things though that somebody pointed out was that they never reload in that movie.
Oh, whatever.
They never reloaded a single time. You never see anybody reload that whole movie, I think. That was just like a little tidbit, but like I just found it pretty funny, but
whatever.
But considering it's just about, for the most part, about the story of Desmond Doss, that never didn't carry a gun into the thematic because he was a conscientious objector. But apart from that, the actual battle at Hacksaw Ridge, which was a freaking mess because for some reason, some genius thought it'd be a good idea to bombard the Japanese, right, that were on top of this ridge with battleships, then go up, then the Japanese would come out of their holes, right, and then we would retreat because they would push us back, and then we'd bombard it again, and then do the exact same. This is literally insanity.
What island was it?
I don't remember what island it was.
Iwo Jima.
No, it was not Iwo Jima. Hacksaw Ridge was.
Okinawa, is it?
No, it was not Okinawa.
No, Okinawa was like their best landing there was.
Hacksaw Ridge was. That's not the best. Oh, it was on Okinawa. Yeah, location Okinawa Islands from March 26th to September 7th, 1945. Nicknamed Typhoon of Steel.
I think that was probably a historical inaccuracy, but like overall, even though Okinawa was hard, we had learned so many lessons. That it was like it wasn't gonna be a cakewalk, but we did.
One of the battles that took place in Okinawa over the 3-month period was the Battle of Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay.
The actual home islands.
Like I know, just Okinawa was way smoother than Iwo Jima.
I feel like it was pretty bloody, but compared to like Peleliu and like some of those.
Like Iwo Jima was the worst, though.
Oh yeah, I mean when they're in a freaking volcanic like rock caves, essentially.
That
bruh.
Like if you think Okinawa, like if that was actual incompetence, Iwo Jima, the whole thing of Iwo Jima was incompetence.
Yeah. All right. Next
up, that was just a part of Okinawa.
Hamburger Hill.
I feel like I've seen it, but can't remember dick.
I feel like I've seen it too. It's one of those movies where it was like for me it was the in between period when I was too young to understand and like when I just got into it. And like, it's weird because I thought Hamburger Hill was a Korean war movie. But
there are not many Korean
going by the thing, it's a Huey, and there was like apparently a scene where some drill instructor's talking about an AK. So it can't be that. So that confused me a little bit.
No, Hamburger Hill is definitely a Vietnam movie.
No, I don't think it is.
It's a Vietnam movie.
Is it?
It's a Vietnam movie.
Let me see.
Hamburger Hill is like one of the initial engagements of.
In 1969,
Vietnam.
a platoon of 3rd Battalion receives first 5 recruits replacements. I guess it is a Vietnam War movie, huh?
Yeah, because I've heard of Hamburger Hill. It's one of the more costly battles.
It's so weird because I saw images of like some of the soldiers, and they were wearing like woodland camo, not like the Mitchell stuff, right? Like actual woodland. Oh, yeah, I must have been from a different thing, but okay. Well, I'll probably watch it.
Because there were two different. There were two different woodland camos, basically.
But you know what I mean, the woodland. What is M85? You know what I mean?
Well, okay. Yeah, that's where. Whatever.
Inglorious Bastard.
This is not a war. It is kind of a war movie.
It's set with a backdrop as a war movie, but I don't think it's an actual war movie. I think it's a comedy movie disguised as a war movie.
Are you kidding me? It's a comedy movie. There's no war in this.
But I'm still gonna give it S because this thing's freaking hilarious, and Quentin Tarantino did a good job at making this.
Oh my
funny.
god, fantastic Tarantino movie!
Like, who doesn't like to see Nazis getting shot up in a theater that later on gets burnt?
Who doesn't like seeing Brad Pitt?
Yeah, that was probably one of his
100 Nazis.
100 Nazi scalps. I'm gonna give you a souvenir you ain't never gonna be able to take up.
Southern Brad Pitt.
He's a vibe, dude. He's such a vibe.
That was an experience. Grazie.
All right. Next up is Kelly's Heroes.
I haven't seen it.
Change. What? You haven't seen Kelly? Dude, Kelly's Heroes is a freaking classic.
Absolute comedy.
It's just pure comedy, but this one, like,
I just know the paint gun round.
The paint. Those are funny. Yeah. Compared to like Inglourious Basterds, it is a comedy movie set in a war scene, but it's actual war. We gotta find a thing. We might do a watch along with it.
We have to.
Oh, I don't think I said why I'm doing a war movie tier list.
No, you did.
No, okay, because freaking Veterans Day was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't stream yesterday because it's Saturday. I don't stream Saturdays because I'm tired because my contracts are, at the end of the week there. And yeah, that's really it. And also because Kaiser said it in the morning, and I was like, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that today. It was on impulse. But yeah, I would have watched Kelly's Heroes as a watch along for Veterans Day. We'll find a different day to watch it because it's actually a really fun movie.
It looks hilarious.
Right, The Kingdom of Heaven. This was also probably one of the older movies
that I've seen. What is it called?
Kingdom of Heaven. With what's his name? Orlando Bloom.
This wasn't the one where they besieged Constantinople, was it?
No, it's the one where they besieged Jerusalem.
Oh wait, we did watch that.
Where it's Saladin and.
That was a great movie.
It was amazing. It is long, but it is well worth the watch.
It's the movie everyone thinks the freaking, because I thought it was the Sabaton song, but no, it's about the Vatican. The burning of Rome. But
The Kingdom of Heaven is probably one of the coolest.
Dude, if you want the quintessential siege movie, that was a siege.
Like, this is probably one of the best depictions of like medieval warfare you're gonna see.
That shit got crazy.
The catapults at night launching flame like balls was such a freaking like, wow. Like this happened, and it was. Sometimes it feels like it was more brutal than like modern warfare, Back now it's like you don't even see the drone and you're just dead. Back then, you saw the flaming balls in the hundreds coming at your city walls, and you could do nothing about it.
Because we also watched the movie about the guy that succeeds, or I guess the guy that carries on Robert the Bruce, the other Robert the Bruce, one of the Robert the Bruce movies. They did that to him, like fire arrows just coming down from the sky towards their little encampment. I'm like, how do you? What?
Yeah, but it's Kingdom of Heaven is awesome.
That was a good movie,
especially because like some of it is based on real events, right? Obviously, but like I think the whole interactions between some of like the actual historical figures was, well, from what I hear, was pretty good, and they were like really honorable. Like Saladin, despite being, or Salahuddin, like his actual name, despite them being like the Moors, you know, the Muslims, enemies to like the Christians using that.
right?
He was actually a pretty honorable man, and a lot of people revere him on both sides. Pretty good. And like King Baldwin, like with his whole thing of like Jerusalem was like it's for everyone. Like that whole thing was just, yeah, that guy's a vibe. You know, he actually was pretty young. He died at 24.
Oh, so he's like a rock star.
Yeah, he had leprosy, and he died at. He was pretty young when he died.
Trying to remember didn't he get? What was the other like Turkish and Ottoman one, or Turkish and Christian one, where it's like the guy actually got hanged because he failed? I can't remember.
That sounds familiar.
Might be Sabbath. It might have been Sabbath one.
All right, next up is The Last of the Mohicans, and this is an Indian movie, right? With like, you know, I'm sorry, Native Americans. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Classic. I know it's a classic.
Last
say it's
Samurai.
not a war movie.
The Last Samurai is not really a war movie, though. It's It's in that transitional period when the Japanese were like, basically
before the Meiji era.
Basically, when they were casting aside the samurai, because look, if you don't know anything about how the samurai like worked and stuff, like they're very romanticized. Those guys were the samurai are utter pricks. Like they were very like
You know, it's a caste system.
Yeah, it's a caste system, so they were very like pompous about like their stance and like, yeah, they have their whole honor system, but it's so dumb if you look at it from like a modern perspective. And even back then, it was so dumb, dude. For crying out loud, one of the samurai gets told about General Custard and how he like pretty much screwed up and got everybody in his unit killed, including himself, because he's an idiot and didn't wait for like thing. And the guy's like, "This man, Custard, was a very honorable man. I must meet him." Like, no, he was an idiot that didn't wait for reinforcements and thought he could take on the freaking, what were they, like the Iroquois? And he got killed, and everybody got killed.
Iroquois, one of the two.
Yeah. Point is, don't romanticize the samurai too much. They're cool, but don't romanticize them.
I think it was a good movie. I can almost respect that, because I think, again, until the 20th century, I just feel like humankind didn't have a fucking brain.
Kind of, but it also is a Tom Cruise movie, obviously, so it's a action movie, not a war movie.
I think it's one of the rare incidents where it was a war movie.
It was more of like just a bit of an internal conflict with the samurai and the Imperials, you know, and I think it was pretty cool. I don't know how historically accurate it was, but it was pretty cool. Some of those battle scenes, especially the last one. But it was a bit weird having Tom Cruise, a white man, helping the Japanese. When, let's be honest here, the Japanese, even back, especially back then, were very xenophobic towards foreigners. So I don't know how that would work, but it was a good movie. I really liked Last Samurai. I'll give it a B.
Xenophobic until, like, I guess they're not as xenophobic as they were at that time.
I mean, we're talking like they were supremacists at that time. Again, this took place in the 1890s, getting very close to the 20th century. Yeah.
But, you know, it was after Matthew Perry showed up, so.
Sure. Yeah, well, it was after we showed up to their port with our giant navy and told them, "Hey, you're going to trade with us now, and you're going to like it." And they're like, "All right, I see this as an absolute win." And then they became imperial.
I think there could have been a better outcome for the samurai, but they just didn't want
Yeah, they were too tenacious, and they were holding on to old ways, which got them never killed. I have not seen Lawrence of Arabia, sorry.
I kind of want to, I heard it's okay.
I heard it's okay.
I heard it's good.
Right. Lebanon. We actually watched Lebanon. You, me, and Kaiser sat down and watched this movie.
Oh, was it the tank one?
It is the one about the Magak, yeah, the Merkava. No, not the Merkava. It was a Centurion. Yeah, it was a Magak or whatever they call it.
That was okay.
Yeah, it was, dude. It actually made me feel kind of sick watching it. Like, when they were claustrophobic inside the tank and it's all dirty and like all that stuff spilling everywhere, like man, it was
oil with like didn't they have a bag of cereal?
Yeah, it was like corn or something. Yeah, it was disgusting. But it's like that's probably what it's like inside those tanks. I mean, they weren't Americans, and it definitely wasn't furry, but like, you know, it actually made you feel claustrophobic being inside. And it was inside the tank the whole movie. You never actually like saw what the tank looked like.
I think
never saw anywhere outside the tank. You only saw outside the tank through the periscopes and the gunner thing. And sometimes when they opened the hatch, but the camera never went outside physically. It was just inside the tank.
It's very much a Kaiser movie because he did that with a car movie, and I'm like, I can't watch this.
I don't know why Kaiser, but car movies are just like synonymous. It's like, if Kaiser's talking about a movie, I'm like, is it a car movie, Kaiser? Because it sounds like it's gonna be a car movie.
He never picked a car. I think that's the only car movie he picked.
Okay, it's about the conflict in I think it's the Yom Kippur War, right? Yom Kippur.
Yes.
I know it's not the 7-day one. There's a different one about that.
6 day.
Yeah, 6 day. My bad. I confused it with the.
I think it's average to good.
Mm-hmm.
If they've actually shown what was actually happening.
Yeah, I think it was a little detrimental in some areas.
I think it's time we need to move on from just what the problems are. You know, we haven't. It's so uncovered the wars in the Middle East.
Yeah, like I do kind of want to know more about some of those conflicts.
Exactly, I love the Israeli conflicts. It's like there's nothing about them. We don't talk about them.
Yeah,
it's time to start making movies about this because it was incredible.
Overall, as a war movie, pretty good. Made you feel claustrophobic, sometimes a little sick, and it was just very gritty. But like, there were some scenes that were like, okay, you could have, gone outside the tank for this one, but I get probably why they were trying to do it. There is another movie that's similar to this that did a better job, and hopefully it's on this list because I want to talk about it. Flags of Our Fathers is counterpart, Letters from Iwo Jima.
Oh, that's Letters from Iwo Jima?
Yeah. I know this iconic poster.
I can't see it.
All right, for me, it's definitely an S tier because it's like, I'm going to talk about it like I did with Downfall, right? Because Downfall is one of the few movies that talks about, like, it's from the German perspective, right? You hardly never see that. And Letters from Iwo Jima is probably the only movie, like modern even, that shows the Japanese side. Right. And that's a really hard thing to do because you're either from one of two camps, right? You either don't really know what the Japanese did or you know exactly what the Japanese did. And either way, it's pretty bad. But this was a little different because the main character essentially is General Kuribayashi. And I actually have read up about this guy, and this guy was actually pretty solid. This guy was pretty good.
He's smart, dude.
When he was in school, like as a young student, he led a student strike to protest like something that was going on in his school. And he actually got like the teachers and stuff to like agree with him essentially and change whatever it was. And from then on, he went on to like rise and like stuff like that, like leadership. And he was a pretty good leader. He's the reason why the Japanese were able to hold out and cause such a pain in the butt to the Marines in Iwo Jima.
They never took Iwo Jima.
Technically, we never took Iwo Jima. Yeah.
I think there was like, we're talking like in single digits of 1,000 that were still like under Iwo Jima.
Like, he's the one that pretty much ordered his men to not kill themselves because it was stupid.
Basically.
He literally told them, don't do this because it's dumb and the Americans are going to win.
Was it Army or SNLF?
What?
The guys that held Iwo Jima, was it Army or?
Kuribayashi was IJA.
Oh, so yeah. Well, that's why it was the Army.
Yeah, because it's the Army, but yeah. But I think it was another Clint Eastwood movie. It is so like, there's some scenes where it's just so calming. Like, before everything like kicks off, right? Like, the first half is basically them setting up Iwo Jima, right? The defenses, how everything's gonna work. He talks about the enemy, and it's very like respectful. He's very respectful towards the enemy because he knows the Americans. He studied as an officer in America before we became enemies. Because before World War II, before the Japanese invaded Manchuria and China and all that, we were friends. Like, the Japanese and us were getting along really well. The reason their military and all that was as good as it was that time was because they based it off of ours, the Germans, and the British. That's why it was so good.
Again, because the British attack on Toronto was the inspiration for Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, like they took the school system from America because at the time we were number one. They took the Navy system from the British, which was the best at the time, and they took the military structure of the Germans, which was also pretty good at the time. So you combine all that, and what do you get? You get a force that went from freaking basically swords and killing themselves for honor to guns, planes, and the ability to strike and invade other countries from your tiny Japanese like nation island in a matter of years. That's something. An industrial power, even at.
Plus, being drunk off the Russo-Japanese War helps.
Yeah. Overall, it's an amazing movie, and it doesn't really stray from anything. Next up, Lone Survivor. For me, Lone Survivor and like American Sniper, it's those like modern war movies. It's like the more modern war movies,
that
right?
One performed. I get it was a true story, but it's not as good as American Sniper.
I'd say, yeah, I'd say there was a little bit of it that took
God, I feel so disrespectful saying that.
I mean, we're talking about the movie, not the actual events. Because me and Trench,
like,
we both know about the events.
We've seen so many movies like that.
Yeah, the thing about it was the actual Lone Survivor, which was funny enough. He's still alive. Right? I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Duh.
He was actually in the movie. Also, he's one of the guys that got killed in the helicopter. And he, in his book, I think, actually didn't really kill that many enemies. But in the movie, he killed like 200 soldiers. Point is, they went a little overboard because it's a Mark Wahlberg movie, and he does that. I think it was a pretty decent overall. But like Trench said, it's like, we've seen this a lot. It's 1 versus a million. The one-man army type of movie. And yeah, I'm not too familiar with the events of Lone Survivor, but it's room there. But it wasn't bad. It was good.
I can't imagine doing the scenes though. They were rolling down a.
Oh no, I think he broke a few.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you have to be. Oh my god.
Oh, Marco, we weren't rolling for that. We have to roll down the hill again. All right. Okay. Hey, who in makeup got all that blood on him? That's not for the scene. That's mine. That's my blood. That's my bone.
God, the hits.
He took some hard hits. All right.
I know it was like, the stuntman know how to do it, but you're still feeling it.
Next is. I can't even read that. Is that a hand or a naked model? I don't know what that is. I can't.
I don't know.
Next is
Master and Commander.
Master and Commander, I believe, right?
We need to see that.
I haven't seen Master and Commander.
We gotta see it because we were on the ship that was in it.
Oh right, yeah. Me and Trench we went to visit the. Was it the Star of India? Or was it the other one?
India.
Was it the Star of India?
Oh no, it was a fake one. It was HMS something.
Yeah, it's the other one that was in the next to the museum, the Maritime Museum. Yeah, me and Trench went to the Maritime Museum in February. Came to visit me. Trench's friend. It was pretty nice. All right, next up.
HMS Surprise.
Yeah, and that was also in Pirates of the Caribbean too, like some of the shots and stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it, even though I thought it was more.
Next up is. What the heck does that say? I can't read it. I see ships. I see icebergs.
I can't read it.
I don't know what the heck this is, dude.
I want to zoom. I actually am curious what it is. Is it the old Midway?
Oh yeah. It's Midway, the old Midway.
I haven't seen the old one.
Have I seen the old Midway?
No, I haven't.
I don't know if I have.
I think it's bad.
I feel like I have seen it because my dad used to watch the old war movies back in the day.
I can't remember it.
I don't remember it.
I'm willing to watch the original.
All right, the Monuments Men.
Monuments Men, I love.
Okay, I was hoping you would have seen the Monuments Men.
It's been a very long time, but I know what it's about.
Mm-hmm. I'm to put it up higher.
It's a very good story.
It's I'll put it B because it's not actually like full on war movie, but
it's an active combat unit though.
I guess you could say that.
I'd say it's A, dude. I remember it being really good. Better than Lebanon, come on.
Alright. Those of you that don't know, the Nazis in World War II stole a bunch of gold, artwork, paintings, statues. They stole all sorts of things to essentially, fund the Reich. A lot of that stuff, everyone knows about, like, the Nazi gold. A lot of that stuff kind of went missing because when you're getting backed into a corner from both sides, you're gonna hide what you stole because you don't want them getting it, and you don't want them knowing that you have it. That everybody knew anyways. So what this movie's about is the real life Monuments Men was a unit not composed of exactly soldiers, but
basically
it was basically scholars, teachers, archaeologists, artists that were trying to preserve.
And they had to do this during wartime.
They had to do this during active war. They were trying to preserve essentially heritage sites, statues, anything of significant cultural human value,
basically
right?
Priceless objects.
Yeah. So in the starting of the movie, you see a bunch of Italians putting sandbags on a mural in Monte Cassino. If you know what happened at Monte Cassino, you know that after the Battle of Monte Cassino, there was no Monte Cassino anymore.
There was no... Oh, no.
There was no mountain.
We got so mad we couldn't take it, we blew it up.
It was so bad that the craters had craters. And even the craters probably had craters. So after that happened, everybody, like allies mostly, Germans didn't give a crap. We kind of figured out that, hey, maybe destroying significant cultural sites after one of the deadliest conflicts of human history, probably not a good idea for morale or for human history.
Well, so Casino was rough.
Yeah, so we kind of need to not do that, and we need to kind of preserve that. So that kind of goes through the struggles of them trying to figure out how to essentially not destroy human culture. I
don't remember that part. The Monte Casino.
It's at the beginning, dude. It's the very beginning.
I'll watch it with you.
All right, cool. I'd rewatch it.
I've only seen it once.
Yeah, so it's the small unit. I think it's George Clooney in this.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, he's one of the main guys of the unit. It was pretty good, like the way
it's a very good movie.
It was a pretty good way they depicted everything. Like it's one of the most unheard of things. Like you probably, if you study World War II in like school, you'll never hear that something like this happened because it's just not like grandiose.
It's like I almost want to get, if I remember her freaking name. If I could do like after school activities with like my old high school teacher.
Aw. Hey, that's sweet.
Because that's what she used to do. Like we did like after school activity stuff. In the history, she was a genuine great woman. Like some of the stuff I've learned after school, because I never had the chance to do like a decent project on the Second World War.
Yeah.
Which sucked.
For me, it was just math. Math. That's why I hate math. Not because I don't understand it, but because they forced it on me. But, anyways, so sad thing about the Monuments Men though is it kind of went unheard of for a while, right? And a lot of their efforts were sort of, I wouldn't say in vain after the war, but like something happened. I forgot what. Something happened that sort of caused essentially what they did to just kind of be null. I forgot what it was, but there was something that happened where I'm trying to remember. I read it was a small tidbit about it. Let me see. Apparently a lot of people didn't really like this movie. I get why, but like at the same time.
I know it's pretty highly rated though. Should be.
Let me see. It has like a 4. Story of the Monuments. Yeah, because there was a little tidbit I did want to talk about. Oh, Smithsonian. Let me just. Come on, man. Let me freaking read some of the articles. It happened like I think they repatriated a lot of the artwork, but a lot of it got like fighting to preserve a priceless heritage. Yeah, it was like stuff like that. Saving countless arbors and their spoke the recoveries of other miners. I forgot it. Second Monuments tour in Japan. Ooh, is this in Japan too? I don't remember what happened, but yeah. So they also do show this in the movie, but this is a fact that's probably kind of overlooked. So everybody knows that the Soviets were trying to get reparations, right? Even during this, when this was happening, so they looted a lot. Contrary to what we were doing, we're the good guys. We didn't take trophies like the Soviets were doing, and they had something called trophy brigades, which were meant Soviet brigades specifically made to capture stuff like this for use by themselves. And we're trying to preserve it. They're trying to use it to fund themselves. And these were directed by Stalin himself. So, yeah. It was pretty bad. And they do show these in the movie. Let me see. Soviets had trophy brigades whose job was to plunder enemy treasure. And they stole millions of objects, including old master drawings, paintings. And even, I think, there's a scene in the movie where they actually show them in a mine trying to like take as much stuff as they can before the Soviets get to it, because they had an agreement with the Soviets of like, this will be like an area that you guys can like take essentially, and the Americans will leave it. So they had to take everything from the mine as much as they could, which is practically impossible, but they managed to do it. And then they sealed the mine with explosives and then put a flag over the entrance. The scene in the movie, I don't know if that specifically happened, but it was pretty well done.
Oh, just full of paintings and stuff.
Yeah, but they did take a lot of it. I think it was all of it actually. Okay, next up is Mulan. Huh.
Well, to be fair,
that's odd seeing it here.
I guess whatever it was, it doesn't really matter. Like, they made a pretty good impact.
Yeah. What they did was good. Their actions was good.
Get to the Smithsonian part. It says he reported that 80 truckloads, 1,850 paintings, 1,451 cases of paintings and sculptures, 11 sculptures, 30 pieces of furniture, and 34 large packages of textiles have been removed from the mine.
Yeah. I don't want to remember though the thing that happened after. I'll remember it. I'll do some research later. Okay. Next up for this list is Mulan. Which is odd seeing a Disney movie here, right? Because
I didn't see Mulan.
You don't associate Disney with war movies, even though some of the movies.
I might have seen Mulan once.
How have you not seen Mulan? Everybody's seen Mulan.
I've probably seen it once, and I can't remember.
Okay, shit. I don't consider it a war movie, but I am gonna put it up high because it's a good movie, though. Mulan's actually a pretty good movie.
That's probably the most I think it's like one of the most uncensored Disney movies, probably.
Oh yeah, no, that was terrifying.
Probably like next to Notre Dame, which I have not seen.
Oh yeah, Notre Dame. Some of the old Disney movies, they go hard, dude. They go hard.
That's not a war movie.
Overlord is a very poorly made zombies movie that takes place during World War II. It is not a war movie, and I haven't seen it, but I don't want to see it because I heard it's not. Paths of Glory. I've never actually heard of this
documentary.
Is it? It looks like a documentary. I haven't seen it though. The Patriot.
I have not seen The Patriot.
I've seen it actually.
I heard it's good.
I think it's pretty good, but not like enough for me to rank it higher than. But
that's still good.
It's basically Braveheart if it was the Revolutionary War.
Isn't it before the Revolutionary War?
That's during the Revolutionary War, Trench.
Oh, okay, my bad.
They fight like in the Battle of Yorktown, I think.
Oh.
What's his name? The that one British general that actually surrendered, was it?
Can't remember.
Pretty iconic name. I forgot.
I don't know. After I watched the video, after I showed you, did I show you the video on the old dude?
Old dude?
The old dude on like the opening shots. He had fought in like every American war for the colonists. He was like a 75-year-old man that just stood in front of the British.
Cornwallis, Charles Cornwallis.
Maybe I didn't show you that one yet.
Probably not. All right, next up.
It's a good story.
Next up, Patton. All right.
I think it's one of my cousin's favorite movies.
Patton is an interesting movie because Patton was an interesting guy. As a general, he was a pretty good tactician. As a person, okay, look, Patton was one of the guys. Patton helped us win the war, but he was kind of a prick. Okay.
Yeah, because he didn't like doing stuff the bureaucratic way.
No, he was very he had his own way of going about things, and it was very rough around the edges. But yeah, like the slapping incident and some of the other things, and the fact that he thought he was a reincarnation of like a Roman general. And overall, though, as the Patton movie goes, it was pretty fun to watch, and it's iconic. For me, it's an A, not an S, exactly.
Finding out Patton doesn't sound like that was incredible.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He probably did talk a lot just like that.
No, he's a squeaky. He's a bit squeaky.
Everybody was a squeaker back in the 40s, Trench. They didn't develop vocal cords. Pearl Harbor by Michael Bay.
I'm gonna throw something at someone.
Okay. This was one of the war movies, quote-unquote war movies, that I had actually seen when I was young that introduced me to the whole. As an action movie, it's pretty cool. Those explosions are pretty nice. Other than that, it's like
it's watching Titanic.
It's basically Titanic, but with the Japanese and torpedo bombers and stuff. It's not really a war movie per se, but it's kind of is, but it kind of isn't. I'm gonna have to give it a D, just because the action scenes were pretty cool.
Here's my take: is that we need to make a movie, combine Tora,
yeah,
remake Tora, basically.
Basically, cut down Tora because it was a little long.
I think plus. Isn't it in Pearl Harbor where the Arizona explodes like 3 times and it's not the way it exploded at all?
In Tora, really?
No, in Pearl Harbor.
No, Pearl Harbor only explodes once. It's the ammo magazine blows up.
Drachenfeld said something about like, I think it might have been Tora. But it's like if you took the best elements of Tora and probably combined it with Pearl Harbor, you'd make a really good, convincing scene.
If you get Pearl Harbor and you cut out the unnecessary segments, like basically the love story,
actually use CGI to make actual ships.
If you take away the love story and get the accurate ships, you could probably get a pretty good Pearl Harbor movie. It wouldn't be that bad.
Even in Midway, it's like every single battleship was like the same class.
Oh, dude, Midway. The new Midway is. Oh.
It was such a great movie, but it's like we started at Pearl Harbor for some reason.
Yeah. Next up, Platoon. One of the most iconic war movies of all time.
Alright, here's a weird one. I think I saw about half of it and didn't finish it.
Yeah, it was. I kind of confused. I used to confuse it with Apocalypse Now because if you've seen one Vietnam War movie, let's be honest, you've seen them all. All right. For me, just like Trench, I haven't actually fully seen Platoon. There's some scenes where I'm like, was that Platoon? Was that not Platoon? I don't remember. It's all Vietnam.
You know what? Also, the movie we saw earlier was not Thin Red Line because now I see Thin Red Line.
Which one? What?
Bottom row, second one.
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's the movie thing. The poster I remember. What was the other one then? This one.
I don't know.
The something red something. That's an M1 grind.
Line in the sand, maybe the red line in the sand.
No.
That might be a movie. Anyway, moving on.
Anyways, all right, Platoon.
I don't know why I stopped watching it. I think it's just because it wasn't maybe I just remember the scenes being very dark.
Yeah.
Like dark, not emotionally, like dark.
Like actually, like dang, I can't see anything.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Like everybody knows the iconic scene where the guy's doing the arm thing he's getting shot at. There's the scene in the village where he makes the guy dance and all that. He beats him with him. And then the ending scene where they overrun the camp. The thing is, other than that, I don't remember the in-betweens. I don't know why that one blonde guy was basically hunting down the other dude or the other way around. I don't remember. Like, there was some conflict in there that I don't even know what it was about, or I was too young to understand.
Apparently, it's one of Charlie Sheen's best movies.
Apparently, yeah. But I don't know. Ran. Never heard of it even. Rescue Dawn. Heard of it?
Nope. Can't read that.
I don't even know what that is either. Oh, this is the Sands of Iwo Jima.
Haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I think this one's also John Wayne.
We gotta watch it then.
I don't know about it, but I did see that they actually had a prop BAR for sale from this movie that looked like an A1, like 1918, not an A2, an actual 1918. But I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
We gotta watch it.
Okay, so see, if there's A tier, then there's above S tier. If there was an S tier, I'd probably put Saving Private Ryan up there.
Probably relaunched the war movie genre.
Because Saving Private Ryan is not only my favorite war movie of all time, but it is probably the best war movie of all time. Everybody that you talk about, if you mention Saving Private Ryan, anybody in the world will know that first opening scene. It is just...
That's a movie on itself.
It's something else. Those 20 minutes are just a whole other thing. I'm not even going to talk about the whole thing about the vets, and everybody probably knows about that.
Oh yeah, they just were like, no, but I can't watch this movie.
Point is though, like, in terms of realism and grittiness, everything else, spot on. The uniforms, spot on. The depiction of like everything was, there's not enough praise can go to it. Done by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, my favorite director personally, my inspiration.
Probably the best actor-director combo.
Yeah, them two together.
Name a bad Tom Hanks movie.
Name a bad Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg movie. Wait, that's right. And they're actually collabing on Masters of the Air, which had its first trailer 2 days ago, which I need to watch.
Oh, he is really?
Yeah. So that's basically gonna be Band of Brothers, but with pilots. That comes out. Oh, I'm definitely.
I was very shocked that it was coming. That was coming out because I was like, oh, I didn't know it was just renamed the Mighty Eighth.
No, it went from the Mighty Eighth to Masters of the Air.
That's what I mean. It was just renamed to that.
I thought it had gotten canceled. And I was like, oh, well, that's gonna suck. But
no, I thought it was. But dude, when it was called the Mighty Eighth, and that was one of the best trailers.
All right, Schindler's List. I forgot who directed.
Did I watch
Schindler's List was also directed by Spielberg. I haven't fully seen it. I haven't seen the beginning, but I've seen from like a little bit of the beginning. There's like a quarter that I'm missing.
Oh, we watched The Pianist, right?
Okay, so Schindler's List is also a Spielberg movie about the Holocaust, and it's about true story, and it's brutal. Like it's so brutal, dude.
I think these Holocaust ones are just probably like I'll probably won't ever watch them because it's like.
I mean, I had to I felt like I had to watch it. Yeah,
I feel like I've learned about it so much that it's like okay.
But it's obviously an experience, you know. So the whole thing about the concentration camps, everybody knows it. But I don't think a lot of people grasp how bad it was, and this kind of really showed. Schindler was a Nazi Party official that sort of changed his ways. Not an official, but he was like with the Nazi Party, right? Industrialist. Changed his ways,
this
kind of.
This guy was good. Right.
Okay. The one that wasn't good at all was Amon Goeth, the commandant of the. I think it wasn't Buchenwald. It was It's one of the really bad ones.
Was this the Log 17?
Amon Goeth was.
Was that Russian?
The Butcher of Plazows. The Plazows labor camp was where he was at.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is in there. He was from the Totenkampfverband, which was Death's Head unit, concentration camp service, from 1943 to his death in 40. Anyways, back to it. Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid depiction of the camps. I think some of it was a little toned down because this was a labor camp and not an actual extermination camp like Auschwitz. but still you'll see the brutality of it. The choice of having it be black and white was, I think that kind of solidified it even.
It's probably sparing you a little bit too.
Right. Next up is Gary Cooper as Sergeant York. I've never actually seen.
Oh, it's Sergeant York movie. I'd watch that.
I don't know why Wonder Woman is here, but that's not a one.
Just because she went back in time.
The Lag 17.
I've heard of it. Haven't seen it.
No, I probably haven't seen it either. There is a similar movie with a similar name, but I don't remember.
I haven't seen Starship Troopers still.
What?
Also, it's not a war movie.
You haven't seen
I've seen a million clips.
I thought we were friends.
Okay,
we're friends. We shared an ice cream together. Somewhat. How have you not seen Starship Troopers? You need to watch Starship Troopers. The Queen likes Starship Troopers.
Also, it's not a war movie though.
It's not a war movie, but I'm gonna put it S because
that's the biggest but.
It's a giant meme in and of itself, and it's funny.
It
so I'm gonna put it at
so
S.
seriously that it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the best part of it. Right. Tears of the Sun.
I haven't heard of it.
The Bruce Willis movie. I think this one's an. What is it actually? Tears of the Sun. No, not Tears of the Kingdom. It is SEAL team in a civil war in Nigeria, so it is an African war movie. Okay. I don't know how real it was. It's just plot. I don't think it's based on anything actual like real. I've never seen it, but I'm open to watching it.
Movies are okay.
Bruce Willis, it's a good. Casualties of War.
I haven't heard of it.
I haven't seen it. The Devil's Brigade. I think this is one of the older war movies. Yeah, we're getting to like some very old war movies that some of us haven't seen, maybe have heard of, but
like our haven't seen list is growing, and it's like, we need to watch at least half of these.
Like this, I've seen a lot of war movies, right? But like a lot of the ones that are on this list, they're either old, or they're not really war movies, or there's like the ones we can't really understand, like the freaking.
Well, I mean, Good Morning Vietnam's not really a war movie, but
yeah,
there's scenes where it's like, yeah, he is kind of.
I can't even see this one. This could be Where Eagles Dare, which I haven't seen either.
Or The Eagle Has Landed.
Maybe. The Guns of Navarone. Actually, I have seen Guns of Navarone, but I don't remember enough of it. So I'm gonna put that in not watched, even though I have one. The Great Escape.
Very good movie.
I haven't watched.
It's a very good. That you want Steve McQueen? That is the quintessential Steve McQueen movie.
Yeah, I have seen the iconic scene where he jumps over the fence in the motorcycle.
And the bouncing that baseball against the wall.
The Hurt Locker. I actually have seen The Hurt Locker.
Very good movie. Jeremy, it's like one of Jeremy Renner's like first roles.
All right, I forgot Arrow was in it. before he became a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Hurt Lockers. I think it's a good depiction of like the war in like the Middle East where they're at, because it's so like tedious. I'm gonna call that what it was. It was just tedious. You don't know who's the enemy. They're putting bombs everywhere. They don't care about civilians. They're just kind of like there. Everybody looks the same. That's kind of racist. Everybody's just there, okay? And we were there and we're like, guys, just don't do that. Got defuse these bombs and you're being annoying. And it was annoying and it was a pain in the butt. And nobody wanted to be there. Nobody wanted us to be there. I hate the war in the Middle East. I just hate it. Point is, it's a good movie. It's about bombs. CODs.
I need to watch it again.
What is that? The Killing Files? What the heck is the Killing Files?
I think the Killing.
Oh, Killing Fields?
The Killing Fields.
Yeah, the Killing Fields.
I was gonna say, what the actual.
This sounds like it's a movie about. Oh, yeah, it's probably about Cambodia, isn't it?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, just looking at some of this, I see a lot of skulls.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, this is definitely about.
I might need to watch.
A British biographical drama about the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia. That enough should tell you that this is pretty bad. Haven't seen it, but that sounds pretty bad. Longest Day.
Ooh, man! If there wasn't a Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, this would be it. Longest Day is a very old war movie, also with John Wayne. Also, pretty good movie, and it's about D-Day, and it is long. The movie says The Longest Day. It's a long movie, and I think it has probably one of the longest continuous shots in movie history. From the time.
How did they manage that with a freaking rickety old?
They talked about it in one of the Corridors videos, but I don't remember which one. It was one of the early.
I wasn't expecting them to cover that.
Nobody was, Trench, but I mean, Corridor's awesome.
That movie is no special effects.
Yeah, it's very old, but I think it's a solid war movie that still holds up to this day. I'm actually gonna put it next.
Might as well.
I don't remember much of it, but I do remember like some.
I don't either. I have it on DVD though.
Next up,
it was a gift.
Next up is a movie that I can't read. They Were Expendable. I haven't seen.
I think I've heard of it.
Thin Red Line. What did we put the other one? Well, I haven't seen it, so.
Very decent.
Three Kings.
Soundtrack. I feel like I've heard of Three Kings.
There's a scene from this movie that I want to show you because. Three Kings is a weird movie that I don't remember much about, but I have seen parts of. It has Ice Cube in it, Trench. It has the rapper Ice Cube in it, I believe.
Okay, respect.
It's about those three guys. I forgot what they're doing, and they're in Iraq with the like Saddam Hussein, like at that time. I don't remember much about what this movie's about. I think they're looking for either WMDs or gold or something like that. But I don't remember much of it. I'm gonna put it in haven't seen, even though I have seen it, because I don't remember much of it.
I don't think I could ever remember that.
All right, Tora. Tora is basically what Pearl Harbor should have done. The Pearl Harbor, which is because it's mostly just the planning, though. It's long because it's just about the lead up to the attack on Pearl Harbor, and then it's the attack on Pearl Harbor, and that's really it.
There was many things they got. I can't really say on the accuracy of the events, but there were so many things they got right.
Yeah, but like other than that, like if you're looking for action, you're not really gonna find it here, because it's just mostly the planning and it's about the events leading up to.
There was the attack, though, obviously.
Yeah, there was the attack. Troy,
which was pretty well done.
Troy with what's his name?
Helen of Troy, isn't it?
What's the dude called? Thor. With Thor. I actually have seen Troy. It's one of the older movies that I actually watched.
They're what, ancient Greek?
Well, Trench, it's about the Trojans, Trojan horse and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't really consider this one a war movie. It's mostly just a Chris, whatever his name is.
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth movie where he does like, old Greek stuff. I have seen it, but I don't remember much of it, so that's going into the haven't seen pile. U571.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. I have seen U571. I used to confuse it with Das Boot. This movie has some very glaring flaws that I'll talk about. Because it is a little disrespectful in that the commandos that took the sub were American in the movie, but in reality they were British. That was a little bit,
Oh, maybe I have heard of this then.
And it is very. That's kind of the most inaccurate point, but there's some other ones. It's a bit of a weird movie. They take the sub, they pretend to be the crew of the sub, essentially, right? And they try to. I think it's about like the Enigma machine. And I remember that they shoot down a. Was it an Arata 196? It's a seaplane, I think. And they also sink a German destroyer. So it was a bit of a weird movie. And it's going in D tier because it was mediocre at best. All right, Valkyrie.
Okay, this is a war movie with Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is. Yeah.
This is the one time it is actually kind of a good movie.
Yeah, I have seen Valkyrie, and I think it's a good
They got the story pretty well done.
So, for people that don't know, Hitler was very popular with the Germans, but he was also very unpopular with it. Some, not all, but some. And some of those Germans included high-ranking officials in the military, because they knew how incompetent he could be. He can sugarcoat his words all he wants in his speeches, But to these guys that actually know what's up, they know he's a lunatic. So they try to kill him, and as history tells us, they kind of didn't.
Yeah, the luckiest freaking man in the world.
So this is basically the events of Operation Valkyrie, which is basically the officials trying to kill Hitler the whole movie. And I think the main guy is Hugo von Strasberg, was it?
Hugo von Strasberg or Strasse, something like that.
Yeah.
You're saying words. You're saying names. And they're probably right.
Was it von Stauffenberg? Yeah, Klaus von Stauffenberg. Best known for his failed attempt on July 20, 1944 to assassinate Adolf Hitler at the Wolfsburg with the suitcase. Him, along with a lot of the conspirators, were captured and executed by firing squad. So yeah, the movie doesn't end with
Rommel.
The movie doesn't end with them, killing Hitler and ending the war.
Even Rommel was.
Oh yeah, Rommel was definitely involved in that.
Very much an unsung hero.
Yeah, Last Night. I'm gonna put it at B. It could be an A, but I'm gonna leave it at B.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's sort of like I'm not sure how accurate some of this might. It's a Tom Cruise movie after all. They might have taken some liberty.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
I don't know what that one is. Can't read it. A Waltz with Bashir? Oh, is that what I think it is? Hold up. Waltz with Bashir. 2008 Israeli adult animated war docudrama film. Yeah, this one I found it when I was looking for good movies about war, right? And I found Lebanon, and this one was in there too. It's sort of got like a comic book like art style to it, right? And it's like I think it's also about the Yom Kippur War. It's about one of the Israeli wars. And I don't know much about this movie. I haven't seen it, but it's on my watch list. Oh crap, I did not want to do that. Oh crap, I accidentally opened it. DaVinci Resolve. I think the stream might lag a little bit. DaVinci Resolve. Alright, next up is War Horrors. French. I've not seen War Horrors.
I haven't. I saw clips.
I've only seen like a few clips of it.
I probably thought it was ridiculous.
I might watch it though. It's a World War I movie about, Tomoe Omari. I mean, a war horse. What if she was based on the war horse? I know she has the World War I cavalry aesthetic, so like she's got to be something, right? I'll watch it sometime. All right, We Were Soldiers. Watch this movie.
I've seen it once.
Me, Trench and Kaiser watched this.
Wait, this is the yeah.
We Were Soldiers.
This is the one I was confusing with Hamburger Hill.
Is pretty good.
Do you want the quintessential version of what the American experience in Vietnam was? This is it.
Yep.
This was our first major campaign.
Yeah, it's like, cool. We came here. We sort of wiped out the enemy, I think. We captured this area. And now we're going to leave. And they came back. Well, crap. Let's do this 20 more times until the war ends, like 10 years later. Horrible events. This was basically mostly about the birth of the air cavalry, with the Hueys and stuff. And about, like, the U.S.'s tactics. And as a depiction of that, solid. 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Real good. As a war movie, as a Vietnam War movie specific, pretty good. I don't really have much else to say about it. It was just really good. If you haven't seen it,
the tactics of the movie pretty much have defined the air cavalry style of warfare.
And the dude here, everybody knows the dude. What was his name?
I don't know.
I'm the historical guy here and I forget his name. Freaking he died recently, actually, 2 years ago. Oh crap! What was
Vietnam vet.
What was his name? How am I forgetting his name, dude?
I forgot his name.
It was Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore. Right. Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore. Harold Gregory Moore Jr.
Marines, right?
Oh, Army trench.
Army.
I'm with you. Not everybody was a Marine. Trench thinks everybody's a Marine. Yeah, he was pretty.
So, no, this would be the Army's first real encounter then, because the Marines were already there.
I think under his command, right? Under his direct command, I think none of his soldiers died. Somehow, this dude had like. He had God behind him, and none of his guys died. Apparently.
Well, I guess it's the Army's first encounter with the Viet Cong, really.
So
the Marines came first, obviously.
I forgot specifically what battle this was. Yeah, he was
I could probably.
He was It was an amazing leader, led his men really good, and helped essentially with the birth of the air cavalry. Pretty good. The movie depicts that they're training a little bit, and yeah. Not much to say about it else, but yeah, solid.
Probably one of the best Vietnam movies.
Yeah, I think in terms of like the best Vietnam War movies, yeah, it's probably the best Vietnam War movie. Better than Platoon for sure. I don't really think Platoon's actually a Vietnam War movie per se. It's more just like a psychological thing, almost like Apocalypse Now, or better than Full Metal Jacket.
La Drang.
Drang?
Battle of La Drang. La Drang Valley.
Like a valley, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Both sides have claimed victory, yeah.
Both sides claim victory, yeah. Right. Next up is a movie that I can't frickin' read. You guys gotta put some better things. Wind Talker. Have you seen
I haven't
Wind
seen Wind Talkers.
You haven't seen Wind Talkers. All right.
I've heard of it, and I know it's about codes.
Wind Talkers is
Jap codes.
No. Navajo.
Not Jap. No, but it's about decrypting
Japanese
codes, isn't it?
Back in the war, right? Back in the war, we encrypt our comms, right? Over the radio. We had to figure something out, right? And here's the thing. The Japanese could learn English because everybody could learn English, especially back then.
It's not hard.
And the US needed some way to basically encrypt their speech language. They couldn't just use codes because those could be cracked. So they're like, so what can we do? Somebody had the genius idea of getting the Navajo, because the Navajo have a very unique language, right? That is basically uncrackable because only they know it. The Japanese don't know about the Navajo. They know about Indians probably, but they don't know about the Navajo. They probably don't know about their language. Second, the Navajo language isn't even written.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's purely like learned through speech, spoken. It's a purely spoken language. And they're like, wow, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So they went to the reservations, recruited Navajos, and used them as code talkers. Thing is, it would be very dangerous if they were to get caught. So in the movie, I don't know if it's real, but in the movie, if a code talker was like, basically there's a few scenes where like a code talker is going to be captured or something, and they have to put him down because it's too risky, you know? One code talker captured could probably break the entire thing and just it'd be bad. But it's based on a true story, and guess what? There was a book, and I read the book in middle school. And it was somewhat different. I don't remember much about it, but it was pretty solid read. Yeah, I think the movie was also pretty good. I don't know how accurate the events were because I've never really looked too much into the actual Wind Talkers.
I know it could be dangerous, but I don't think they would just execute their men if they're going to capture them.
Well, there's a scene where they're capturing one, and Nicolas Cage throws a grenade at him and blows him up.
Nicolas Cage?
Yes, he's the main guy. He's the main guy in charge of the Wind Talkers in this unit. And it also has that one guy that for some reason he's always in the role of an Indian. He was in Flags of Our Fathers. He's the other Wind Talker that lived. Because I think there's like 2 or 3 and 2 of them die. And
where are they at, though, in the Pacific?
Yeah, they're in the Pacific.
So they're more or less calm guys somehow.
Yes. Basically what they do is they relay in Navajo through the radio to like artillery or air support or whatever, right? And the other dude on the other line understands it and
somehow
calls it in. Yeah, probably another Navajo on the other end. Yeah. The last one is Zero Dark 30. This one goes to the I haven't seen section because I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Zero Dark 30?
I haven't seen Zero Dark 30. I don't know what it's about. I think it's about the capturing what's his face. Yeah, and I don't really care about it too much.
It's pretty good, actually.
Like, what happened after 9/11, for me, it's just kind of like a blur, and it's just kind of like, it annoys me. Like, I don't want to hear about it sometimes. You know? And that's the whole list. Wow.
But they missed a few.
They missed a few. They definitely missed a few. So, it wasn't on here, but I did say I was going to talk about it when we reached Lebanon. If you're looking for another good tank movie that does what Lebanon did, but better, there's a movie called The Beast, or The Beast of War, which is about a T-62 or a T-55 crew. I think it's a T-62. A T-62 crew in Afghanistan during the Soviet-Afghan War.
Oh, shit.
And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. Because I don't think there's that many movies about the Soviet-Afghan War. Nonetheless, about a tank crew. But it was pretty cool. I liked it. We should probably watch it with Kaiser someday. Pretty solid movie. But, yeah, that one wasn't mentioned. I probably would have rated that one an A tier. A little old, and the story was a little weird, so I probably wouldn't have rated S. Pretty solid.
I think S to B is a pretty solid list.
Also not on here, another tank movie, T-34.
It was okay.
For me, I really like T-34. I probably rated it.
I liked it.
Probably B or A, probably an A. Because those slow-mo scenes with the tanks and everything was awesome. And it's really what it's about.
I think it's a B, really.
I really enjoyed it, though. Like, it was it's such a fun watch.
I can't put it up with Tora Tora Tora. And
you can't put it up with Tora Tora Tora. But we put some of the other movies up here with Tora Tora Tora. Alright. T-34 is just a fun watch. You watch tanks shoot at each other, and it's cool. It's basically War Thunder, the movie. Alright.
I can't put it with Grid Faith with, I couldn't put it next to The Longest Day. How about that?
Okay, fine.
It's in an A tier, but
what other war movies weren't on here that we should talk about? I can't really think of many.
I can't think of any.
Not a war movie, but The Pacific and Band of Brothers could also, like, technically, I guess they could be on here, and those definitely be S tier because of...
That's like a 3-part trilogy, basically.
Yeah, basically, you'd probably watch, like, Saving Private Ryan, The Pacific, and Band of Brothers, and Masters of the Air when it comes out.
I can't believe they got Malik. They got Malik to be in freaking... I love him. He's a dork. I love him.
He looks like a dog, like one of those little pugs.
I don't care. He's a great actor.
It's funny, yeah. And he made the surprise cameo in Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, I guess we should probably talk about Oppenheimer since we both watched it. Oh, it's not on here. Is it technically a war movie?
Yeah.
I'd say yes, because it's contributing to the war effort, even though there was no actual war happening, but it's set during the war.
I mean, this is the largest conflict in human history thus
far.
But
this is probably one of the most significant events. After this, the world was never the same. And Thomas Shelby made the atomic bomb.
Oh, they didn't put the Emperor.
I haven't seen the Emperor. Also, Oppenheimer would definitely be S tier.
I thought you did see the MacArthur movie.
Oh, that one! Yeah. It's just called Emperor, not The Emperor.
Oh, my bad.
So, I have my gripes with that movie, considering its inaccuracies, but as probably the only movie that's set during the American occupation of Japan, right? Which there should be more of, I think it was pretty good, especially that first scene. Oh, man. I just can't get enough of that. Gentlemen, we are gonna get off this plane without weapons. We're gonna show the Japanese some good old fashioned American sweat. And then he puts on his pipe and his shade.
That's MacArthur.
That's MacArthur. And I can't believe that Truman just took him off from combat during Korea. We should have nuked the Koreans during that. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But
that's probably why it got taken off.
The point is, it has MacArthur in it. It has Tommy Lee Jones as MacArthur, grumpy old man, which is pretty cool. But I think overall it was a pretty good movie about basically saving Japan, right?
Yeah, basically finding out who was actually responsible.
Yeah, it was basically capturing the Class A war criminals and like anything Class B.
Like usually,
Hirohito. Or not Hirohito, Tojo.
I know it's inaccurate, but I mean, it's kind of telling what happened.
No, the thing about the biggest inaccuracy is the other general, the one that was promoted to a 1-star and then demoted during wartime. I forgot his name. His whole plot about him looking for his like love never happened. The guy was married and had 2 kids.
Oh, so all of this happened?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
The whole story about us essentially rebuilding Japan basically in an American way, right? Contrary to what we did in Germany, right? Because we split it, was very interesting, right? The Japanese had no resentment towards us. There was no resistance. Why? Because the emperor told them not to. Why? Because the emperor was basically their god, yeah. And we thought, hey, if we execute this guy, that's gonna be bad. It might be bad. There might like start like a revolt or something. So we didn't. Should we have done that?
Probably not.
I don't know, because he was sort of just a figurehead. The real guys in charge were Tojo and his cabinet and everybody else, right? The real Class A war criminals.
To me, with the end of that though, it's like I was listening to something that has recently come to light, and it was really controversial.
Derek literally commented on the stream that Top Gun was a war movie. He's in the voice chat with us and he's not talking. He's probably in the toilet or something. What are we talking about?
Like,
oh, right, Emperor.
Oh wait, I lost my train of thought. God damn it. Oh, like it is interesting learning about that, because it's like we are now. And the one thing they really don't cover is like just the lack. Like, yes, we kind of let them off field. Just the lack of justice that we did. Like, we're now 10 years ago. We're now uncovering like the horrible rape of Nanking and the rape of white women and prostitution, like forced prostitution on some of the occupied territories. We're now just learning that, and they've never really gotten justice.
Yeah, that's one of the parts I didn't understand. Like, in terms, if you compare the Nazis versus the Imperial Japanese were way above on the freaking evil scale, right? All evil is evil, but they did pretty bad.
Like, there needs to be a movie or something about this, because there is an absolute lack of justice.
Like, the fact that we basically...
The Tokyo trials were a joke.
Yeah, the fact that we essentially hung and shot a lot of the Nazi war criminals for their roles in the war, but we let off members of Unit 731 basically off the hook.
Right.
Was just like
I think even Mark Felton, because this is what I listened to during work when I was listening to that whole talk what he did from the War Stories channel. It's like, you could say the Americans sabotaged justice.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's worth like basically keeping them for their research and stuff like Operation Paperclip, but the difference between Paperclip and what 731 did, right, is that the scientists in Paperclip were mostly like not directly involved in the slaughter, essentially, in the Nazi war machine. They contributed to it, but not in that way. The freaking monsters in Unit 731 were directly involved in experiments on Chinese nationals that were... Oh, man, I don't even want to describe some of the stuff that they did, but it's like way different.
It's like listening to a North Korean prison.
Yeah. Times 10 at the time, but... Yeah, that's just one of the things I don't know, but... Okay, going back to Emperor, we need more stuff about the occupation of Japan because it's really interesting. The way that we essentially destroyed them with 2 extinction eggs, and then rebuilt them, and now we're like the best of friends, and they made anime, which is was so like, it's such a cool thing in and of itself that they needed to talk more. All right, Derek did mention Top Gun, and I'm going to mention Top Gun too. I don't really care much about Top Gun, not going to lie. It's not a war movie, Derek. It's a movie about Tom Cruise being a bad boy that flies planes for the Navy.
I know.
Derek, there you are, you little... that scene, though, where he shoots the missile and that plane dodges it was pretty cool, though. That I will say that scene was pretty cool.
Top Gun isn't a war movie; it's a recruitment tool.
Yeah, basically, it's basically a propaganda movie for the Navy, but it's pretty cool. I'll give it that.
Wait, no, it's not here.
Yes, Dirk.
What?
That Korean War movie about the African American pilot.
Oh yeah, Devotion. Devotion's not on here.
It is a little new.
Devotion. Yeah, I think this list might have been a little old. I don't think it shows when they did it, but yeah, me and Trench and Derek and I think Kaiser might have watched Devotion, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Decent.
It was a pretty good Korean War movie. Yeah, I'll give
Could
it
have
that.
been better.
Yeah, it could have been better, like Trench said. Yeah. But overall, it was mainly just about the pilot himself.
Yeah.
It was pretty solid. I probably would have given that one a B tier, but yeah, pretty good.
It's a B tier. No.
I don't.
I mean, they did literally make a mini Essex class.
Oh, you know what's not on here too, dude? Greyhound.
Oh, he's right.
Oh,
New
dude.
Midway isn't on there either.
It's Greyhound's
Which
not
one?
there.
New Midway.
Right. All right. So Greyhound is about the first American
That's an
escorts
A-tier movie.
across the Atlantic. For me, that's definitely a freaking 8.
That for how fictitious it was. A.
I don't know, dude. For
The
me,
ships
it
were
was like
fictitious.
it was tense. It was really tense.
Agreed.
The whole the waiting for the U-boat to essentially just strike, and him taunting him over the radio was pretty funny. Greyhound, I can see you, Greyhound. Oh, woo! He actually howled.
Okay, initially when I saw that, I thought when he was doing the crying noise, I thought I was mocking the people dying on the burning ships. It took me a while to be like, no, he's just making wolf noises.
Yeah,
I'm
because they're wolf
it
pack.
could work either way.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know how realistic it was, but it was a pretty good about something that's
Wasn't
never
a lot
really
of,
covered.
I maybe they just don't exist, but not a lot of Age of Sail movies besides Master and Commander. Maybe they don't
What
exist.
did Derek? What did you mention also? Or was it Trent that mentioned? What was the other one you mentioned?
The New Midway?
The New Midway. Right. For me, the New Midway is S tier. Long, but it covers everything you need about Midway.
It's not longer than Oppenheimer.
No, definitely not. Nothing's longer than Oppenheimer.
Except for Lord of the Rings.
No, Trench, you don't get it. Oppenheimer has 3 hours of runtime plus 3 hours of bonus features. It's 6 hours long.
I'm trying to think of anything else. It's like war. I mean, the most war movies half the time are usually aircraft related. When I think of
Memphis Belle isn't also on here. Hearts 4 isn't on here either.
Kaiser wants the list.
He wants his...
He wants the physical list.
Okay. Send it to me in a bit.
Okay.
I think you should send it to our DM, somewhere here, and then just pin it.
I'll just yeah, okay. So what else?
I wouldn't expect it to ever be on a list like this. However, I did come across, I don't remember how long ago it was, that there is a Chinese parody film of Top Gun Maverick, but it's like a Chinese Air Force one.
Oh, great. It's propaganda.
Apparently it is pretty ridiculous, but the curiosity is
I mean, sometimes I've seen some clips of Chinese movies that come out and I'm like, I could watch this. It looks pretty dumb and the Chinese probably don't die or they're the bad guys or nothing, but it's probably
2017. It's from 2017. It's called Sky Hunter.
Sky Hunter. There's also another one called Operation Red River. It's about tanks. So I don't know. That's on my maybe list. I don't know. I might get flagged by the NSA or something for watching. All right. Also not on here. Dirty Dozen. Classic war movie with Clint Eastwood.
I feel like I saw it and just completely forgot it.
See the major in that.
I know the story.
The major in Dirty Dozen, yeah. The Filthy 13. The major in that has a grease gun with the magazine's taped jungle style, which is basically two magazines duct taped. He's the one that I got the idea for Lily's M3, essentially.
Okay.
Is the inspiration behind that. I do want to watch it because there's actually two of them. I haven't.
The guy. I think they just need to make a movie about the guy that led them.
Yeah.
Fucking God.
What else? Other more movies. Hotel Rwanda isn't really a war movie.
What?
I probably would have included it if it was. I'd probably break down an 8 here. Hotel Rwanda was pretty brutal. Blood Diamond wasn't on here either, but I haven't actually seen Blood Diamond.
Ooh, I think I saw that once.
Hunt for Red October, but that's not really a war movie.
I was about to say.
It's not a war movie. Any Tom Clancy thing is not a war movie.
Okay, Trench. All right. So when the Splinter Cell movie inevitably comes out, that's not going to be considered a whatever it is movie. Okay.
It's not a war movie.
Okay, Trench. All right. The Ghost Recon movie.
I guess, but it's a fictitious war.
All right.
Funny enough, there is actually there's a Wikipedia page titled "A List of War Films and TV Specials." They are categorized per every different time period. So from ancient history, 3050 BC to AD 476, all the way up to you have the War on Terror 21st, and then there's mercenaries in the Third World section, and apparently includes anything from even other countries. So even stuff that comes out from
Age of Sail.
Remember, Derek, I'm the main character.
I know.
You're my supporting cast, okay?
Oh,
I'll be back.
Okay, Dredge.
I think we're pretty much done.
Okay.
Could be.
So because the list would, of course, be excessively large, if you look at certain sections, so if I look at the tab down for War on Terror in the 21st century, you have to go to an actual separate page for that. When you go to the separate page, then it has subcategories. So you have the War on Terrorism. Yeah. What I'm saying.
Derek, send me the thing. Okay. Talks about the. Derek, give me send me the thing. Oh, okay. And no, I'm not rating Star Wars as a war movie, and it has war in the title. Read.
I wasn't gonna.
None of the Star Wars movies deserve to be on this list. Read.
What about the Clone Wars?
Yes. Fight my controversial. Clone Wars is pretty good. Fight my controversial opinion, but no. Read. List of war movies.
Yeah. So you go there. Now, if you go, they have the subcategories, and if you go to the subcategories, then it has the sections per each different.
Okay.
Because what's interesting on the page for list of war films and TV specials set between 2001 and the present, they have a section for 2004 unrest in Kosovo, modern wars in sub-Saharan Africa 03 to present, Mexican drug war, South Ossetia war, 2011 Libyan civil.
Oh, I just remembered one that's not on here. The Siege of Jadoville. Oh, dude. Me and Kaiser watched that movie. I don't know if you guys were on here, but me and Kaiser watched it. It was about the that one Irish detachment that was doing peacekeeping operations in, I think it was the Congo or Angola, one of those. I think it was the Congo. And only 2 guys died during that, and then they got captured essentially, and then when they got returned to Ireland or wherever it was, they were kind of treated as pretty badly. It wasn't until later where they were restored into honor or whatever. That one could be considered a war movie. I probably would put that one in A tier because it's pretty good. Zulu. I have seen Zulu also.
Oh, right.
That one was I don't know. I don't know what that one was. It was just probably a B tier, but it was interesting.
Interesting. They have there's a couple of films about the war in Donbass.
There's
It's probably all Russian. It's all biased.
Probably all propaganda. I'm not gonna lie.
Hold up. No, one's a Ukrainian war drama.
The 2 Stalingrad movies weren't on here either.
Oh, you know what we need to watch? We gotta watch Zelensky's movies.
You mean the comedy stuff he was in?
Yeah, we gotta watch that.
Ridiculous.
I don't care.
Let me take a drink.
No, one of the films there is from Ukraine.
Did we sign out yet?
No, we're still on.
Oh,
it's called Cyborgs: Heroes Never Die. It's a war drama film about the cyborgs, the Ukrainian defenders in the Second Battle of Donetsk Airport during the war in Donbass.
I'm sorry. Did you just say cyborgs?
Yeah, it's
you
a Ukrainian
cyborg in the same
Ukrainian servicemen who participate in the defense of Donetsk International Airport during the war in eastern Ukraine.
Yes, but
May 26, 2014.
Cyborgs?
No, that's literally what they're called.
Are they literally cyborgs, or are they just what they're
No.
called?
It's the name of their group.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm like, don't be one of those stupid like Eastern European movies where it's like, oh, everything's cool and they're cyborgs all of a sudden, or aliens, or some dumb thing.
I was waiting. I was like, what the?
Yeah, I was waiting for the twist.
Yeah, the word cyborg meaning defenders of Donetsk Airport, first used in September 2014 by an unknown pro-Russian militant.
I don't think there's any other movies that we didn't cover. Oh, probably gonna have to stop then. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I'm gonna see war movies. The Covenant. Oh, Kaiser wanted to watch the Covenant.
1945.
Like,
What else? The new All Quiet on the Western Front. I'd probably rate that one a solid.
oh yeah, that wasn't on there.
Yeah, that wasn't on there, but it was pretty neat.
That's A to S.
Hyena Road, I have not seen. Battle of Britain.
Oh, there's actually
Battle of Britain's pretty decent.
Hyperactive Valor. Escape. Guess Forrest Gump is okay.
I was about to say that too. It was like, is it like a semi-war?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah.
Oh, also not technically a war movie, because it's also a miniseries, is Generation War. About the Germans and stuff. That one's pretty good too. It's three episodes long. They're like an hour each. Also on here, not on here, was obviously the what's it called? Generation Kill, which is about Marines in the invasion of Iraq. That one was also pretty good. That was pretty good. That one's like 5 episodes, like 45 minutes each. Pretty good. Other than that, we're pretty good. Could be everything. We've pretty much covered everything. Everything known. Everything everybody knows.
Or at least that the author of this list knew.
Yeah. Like, there was a few other lists, but they're really short. They had like 15. Yeah, okay. Alright. That will probably do it then. Pretty solid. There are some other foreign movies that I have seen personally that I would put on this list. For example, 71 Into the Fire is a Korean war movie about the 71 students that held out at Pohang High School, girls' high school in one of the battles. I think this was before Icheon, and sadly, I think they all died. But they held it long enough for the reinforcements to arrive and push back to north. Another one also about the Korean War was Taeguk-ji, the Brotherhood of War.
Oh, I know what wasn't on there.
Yes, Trent.
Bridges over Tokurai.
I have not heard of
it. It is F9F pilots.
Ooh.
They're like the bridge busters.
Also not on here was the one I talked about earlier, which is the
They didn't put Dam Busters on there.
Okay, French. The other one that I hadn't talked about yet was the Great Raid, or something like that. I forgot the name, which is about, I think it's Filipino and American commandos, basically saving POWs from a Japanese POW camp.
You know what?
Based on true events. That's kind of an underrated movie. It was pretty good.
You know what? I don't think they're Philippine commandos. You know what they are?
What?
I think they're the Philippine Scouts.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's not commandos.
You know what I mean, Trench? Don't get technical with me. I think that's about it, though. I don't remember any other ones. Where Eagles Dares probably wasn't on here either. That I know of.
The Eagle Has Landed wasn't on there.
And those are probably, I haven't seen, so those are probably beyond that. They're pretty good.
We're gonna have to make like a second part of this, probably.
Well, they need to make either one of us, as in not me, has to make a list, or someone else has to get a list. Because I couldn't find any good ones that were longer than this. We'll do it. Fun. I haven't done a tier list in a while. 2 hours long. I thought it was gonna be like 45 minutes, honestly. But yeah, it's fun doing tier list. Probably do another one if I find one. Other ideas. We'll do it, Derek. I would say thank you for joining us, but you joined us like 10 minutes before we ended.
It's not that I didn't join. I was here. I just didn't want to talk because there was a bunch of commotion going on in the background. I don't want you to have to worry about listening to that shit.
I don't care. He cares either.
Trench, thank you for joining me and providing commentary. I probably would have been like 45 minutes long if you hadn't. We do need to watch some of these though. When our haven't seen is longer than our actual like rating ones.
That happened with the cartoons though, I think too.
Yeah, but a lot of those were modern ones though. From like for me it was like 2007 and onward. Like that's a lot of stuff I haven't seen because I was older.
I can't think of the names. There wasn't a lot of Civil War movies on there.
Yeah.
There's at least like 2 more that are known.
I haven't seen any Civil War movies except from Glory, really. And I don't really care too much about it. I don't know why, I should, but I don't. That will do it. Probably make another list sometime if I get the ideas. But for now, that was it. Thank you. And schedule is posted. We're doing a little bit of changing it up this week. Not too bad. We're actually doing a stream on Friday if we're doing Deep Rock with Trench and Derek. Because Deep Rock's fun, and I kind of like it. I might be addicted. We're gonna do some rock and stone. And yes,
please stop kicking the barrels into the launch bay.
Please stop kicking the barrels into. Amazing dance move. Now please get to work.
Yes.
The fun.
Classy moves, team.
It's a move, team. Now get back to work. But yeah. Schedule is posted. The content restructuring is already in effect. Shorts on Wednesday. Normal videos on Saturday. I can't be bothered to edit during the week twice. That's my schedule. That's it. Keep posted, and that'll do it. I need to save it.
Probably pin it in general as well.
Can I just copy and paste it? Oh yeah. Somebody add him for me, please. I need to record this.